So if your child is sick, you can give them ibuprofen every 6 hours and Tylenol or acetaminophen every 4 hours. I don't know if you know this, but you can do that. Just alternate them. If they're super sick and they have a fever of 104 degrees, you need to just take this precaution and do it. Like, okay, they are burning up, we are going to do that. You can also take like a squirt bottle, you know, that makes like a mist. Girls use it in their hair and stuff all the time. Like a mist. You just mist them gently and then let a fan like just hit them, but don't let them get chilled. If they get cold, turn the fan off. Let them sit in the diaper or the underwear or, you know, just a shirt or whatever they want to wear, whatever they're comfortable in. Your job is to keep them comfortable so they heal faster. If they are throwing up, wait until don't give them anything until they haven't thrown up at least an hour. And then introduce a teaspoon of Gatorade. I learned this from the hospital, of Gatorade every 15 minutes. Once they hold that down for an hour, go ahead and up that every 15 minutes to 2 teaspoons. And then, you know, every 15 minutes to 3 teaspoons the next hour. If they throw up, stop. Do not give them anything. And once they hold down whatever for, you know, an hour, start the 15 minutes teaspoon again, because dehydration is a serious thing. So the way I learned this was my son Connor, when he was a baby, he was just throwing up and he was burning up and he went, you know, he went limp. And I had to force my ex-husband to take him to the hospital and this and that. And they're like, oh, do you want to do an IV, which is quicker? And he's like, yeah, I need to work tonight, blah, blah, blah. And the IV didn't work. I had to hold down my son, and they tried to poke him in his hands, both arms, both legs. And they're like, you know what, we're going to give him a break after they did his feet. And they're like, and we'll come try to get it in his head. And I'm like, no, this is it. I was like, you're not putting a needle in his head. You're not putting a needle in his neck. I want to try the other option, the oral option that you gave us before. And a doctor had come in, heard about us, and he came in to the hospital, even though it wasn't his day to work, just to show me that you could do this with Gatorade and a syringe. This is if your kid's a baby. You know, you can do this, you know, with kids too, but you don't have to use a syringe, obviously. You can just be like, you got to take a sip every, 15 minutes, about this much. And don't let them chug as much as they are thirsty. They will just let it come back up. I am not a doctor. This is just my mom experience. So that's where I'm going off of. So I hope this helps somebody. If you have any more questions about sickness, I am a mom of 5 boys. We've been through COVID. We've been through, stomach bugs. We've been through pink eye. We've been through all of that good jazz. So if you need any advice, leave me a comment. Hey, my kid's doing this, whatever. Remember, babies under the age of 1 cannot have honey. But if you are like fighting a sore throat, I recommend, I'm not saying if you have a stomach ache, but if you have a sore throat, if you have COVID, whatever, I recommend honey in milk, and it is a godsend to your throat, but only if your baby is over 1. You don't want to do that. And obviously if they don't like honey, then, you don't give them honey. But yeah, if you guys want any more sick advice, let me know, from a mom who, I'm not going to say I'm a pro, but I know a lot. I have a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience. So, love you guys. Stay healthy, stay hydrated. Don't forget to breathe. And if you're dealing with a sick child, I know it's hard, but just try to breathe. Just try not to freak out. Everything's going to be okay if you just breathe. And when it gets scary. So I got cut off and I had to do something else. My Uncle Raymond actually died yesterday. So yeah, I didn't finish my video and I didn't finish editing, and may he rest in peace. He was super old and things like that, so he lived a full life, and but to go back to the honey thing, or no, if you're scared, have a friend that you can call and just freak out with. Like, that's, you know, you want this person to be someone that's not like, what do you want me to do? You know, just because what you need them to do is to listen and to possibly give advice if you need it. But, like, you need to get you a friend that you can just call and be like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. I don't know what to do. You know, probably a friend that has experience in this is a good idea. But just being able to say, oh my God, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm so freaking out. You know, I'm in shock right now. I have a friend named Amy, and every time something like this happens, you know, the first time we got COVID really bad, like the pink eye, Lincoln was puking up mucus with the pink eye COVID. He had like gooey eyes and he was puking up mucus, and I called up my friend Amy and I'm like, oh my God, I've never had this happen. He's burning up. He's puking up mucus, this and that. I don't know what to do. Do you know what to do? It helps because, you know, she's an EMT. But my favorite part of her is that she has lots of little boys as well. And, you know, she's my mom friend. And she gives me advice. And usually when I call her, I'm in shock and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Should I go to the hospital? Like, tell me what to do. I believe in your opinion because you have lots of friends. And before people get like, oh, you know, how can she be so important to you, blah, 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 because some family members can get jealous and be like, you know, she has lots of little boys. I have 5 kids. She has 4 kids. She's an EMT. You know, she's wonderful. She's a light. And she knows, like, I'll call her up in shock and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And, you know, she knows how to calm me. And she makes me breathe, and she makes me laugh, and, like, she just explains it to me, and you gotta get a good friend that you can trust, and they're not gonna hold against you what you say or how you say it when you're, like, freaking out because you have, you know, ADHD, or you have your child, you know, is sick or whatever. You need that person who can help you have a level head, whether that's your husband or whatever. But if you're a single mother or a single father, you need a friend that you can call and freak out with. Oh my God, this just happened. What do I do? Because if you're in shock, like, let's say your kid falls out of a tree or something like this, and you're in shock, and, like, they're like, what do you do? 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 What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What are you going to do? You know, and you're just like frozen, and you're like, I don't know. I'm going to text my friend. My friend knows what to do. My friend can call me, even if they don't know what to do. You know, they can call me and be like, you know, yeah, you should probably go to the ER. Gotta get that friend. And when I've talked about Amy before on my channel, you guys are like, where do I get an Amy? I don't know. Like, I grew up with mine. She was my neighbor. So I can't tell you where to get an Amy, but you find a person who's a good person, or you even can go on Google. But if something happens, let's say the worst happens and you're just frozen and you're like, I don't know why, I don't know what to do, I don't know why, I can't move right now. It's because you went into fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Okay? There's not just fight or flight. There's fight, where, okay, I feel scared. Do I fight? But, you know, there's flight. I'm going to run away from this. I'm going to go hide from this. I see that you're bleeding, but I don't want to deal with that, so I'm going to run the other way. Or I see that you're sick, or I see that I need this, or the blah, blah, blah. You know, that's totally normal. Fight, flight, freeze. That's what I do when my kids get sick, like things happen or whatever, and I'm like, what do I do? And, like, I just knew, you know, I knew I should call my friend Amy, and I'm like, you know, what do you think I should do? Should I go to the hospital? Should I do this? You know, and she's just like, first we're gonna breathe, you know, and I'm going to let you do the talking, and I'm going to speak when you're done. Just let it all out. Let it all out. You need that kind of friend. Someone who will let you let it all out and then give you advice if you want it. If you want it. Maybe you don't want it. But I mean, two perspectives are always better than one. So you can be like, this happened, this happened, this happened, you know, call up the ER, and they're going to be like, we can't give you medical advice over the phone. But you know what you can get? You can get Blueberry Pediatrics. I've had it for years. It's so cool. Because when my kids get sick, like, they have this thing and they send you, well, I don't know if they do the free kit anymore, but they send you, I think it's the light making the shadows in my videos. I always thought it was like my phone was dirty, but if I turn my phone just a little and I, like, you see it, it's the glare of the light. Huh. Interesting. The parent could be in shock and they're like, I just need advice. I just don't know what to do, you know. There should be like a hotline. Maybe there is, I don't know. But I know there's a poison control. If your kid gets sick, you know, you just Google poison. I have poison control like right in my phone contacts just in case. But poison control, you know, you can call them if your dog ate something, if your kid ate something. You know, if your dog ate something, you can give them activated charcoal, which you can get it right at Walmart for like $5. But yeah, those are important. You need to have that one friend or that one family member or that one person that you can say, you know, I don't know what to do. I know I sound crazy right now. I'm in shock. Like, I don't mean to be frozen. I don't mean to act stupid. Like, if I wasn't in shock right now, I would probably know what to do. But I need you to tell me what to do now because you're not in shock and I am, and I need your help with this. And like, this person is like a sunshine to your life, you know, and you can also be that to them. You know, you have to also be the listening ear. Let them just let it out. Give advice if they want it. Don't if they don't. Back to the honey. Honey saved me in COVID, and also my choir. You know, my choir days, all my music training and all of that also saved me because I got to the point in COVID, I couldn't breathe, guys. I wasn't able to breathe. Okay, thank you. I wasn't able to breathe, so instead I did like my training set, and I sucked in through the straw. And I filled my diaphragm and I just breathed like that because that was the only way I could breathe because the COVID was so bad. My son Connor, when I couldn't breathe and my throat, it was just like closing up, guys. I couldn't talk. I couldn't breathe. It got bad. He grabs a teaspoon and he's like, you have to eat honey. And I'm like, no, honey's disgusting. I do not like honey, especially pure honey. He's like, Mom, you have to eat honey or you have to go to the hospital. Please trust me. And I was like, okay, I trust you. And I ate 2 teaspoons, like, a regular spoonful, like you eat cereal with, of honey. And it was gross, but I felt better. Like within a couple hours, my throat was like a little bit better. So I started drinking milk that had honey in it, and it kind of tastes like at the end of like when you eat honeycombs or something like that. So yeah, honey can save your life. If there's anything else that you guys want to know about, like, I was sick, so I didn't exactly write down what I did, but if you ask a question, I can try my best to help you get your answer. If you want to know about sickness, if you want to know about toxic relationships, you want to know about addiction, as I do my healing, me and my therapist, we unlock all of this, stuff, such as I know now that I was drugged by my ex-husband, my first one. I'm going to do a video on that because I feel like the reason Justin Bieber and all these people don't remember what happened, the reason why they keep going back is because they were actually drugged. And they just don't remember. Because let me tell you, if you've ever had the date rape drug, it's like they give you the drug, it feels like you fall asleep and then you wake up the next day not knowing what happened. But it's not like that. you are up all night being tortured, whatever, you know. And it took me and my therapist, you know, it took me and therapy to understand what it was that was all, you know, jumbled up in there. And my son was also drugged by this man, and he remembers, you know, he told me, he's like, Mom, you know, I was drugged and this and that, and I remember he would drug my milk and this and that, and I remembered he would drug my alcohol. When he told me about that, it was like I remembered too. And it would be like he'd give me the drug and my drink, and then all of a sudden I would wake up, you know, the next day not understanding what happened, but it would, when I remember it, we unlocked that I would get the drug and fall asleep on the couch and wake up and his friends would be there, and it's like, how did these, you know, what's going on? I want to go to bed, this and that. And yeah, the torture would begin until, you know, I don't know how long it lasted. It was just a long, long night of every night. And you don't remember. So people are like, why did Justin keep going back to these Diddy parties? Because he doesn't remember what happened there. He, you know, they're probably telling him he did this, that, and oh, you had a great time, blah, 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 you know, whatever. But they don't exactly remember. Have you been watching? Like, people say they take away their cell phones. They make them drink the drinks and this and that. And, you know, if you can't remember, but yet this person's your friend, they give you these love bombs all the time, except for when they're abusing you, what do you expect them to do? And it's like, how many of them are victims and how many of them are the predator? And did the predator get forced to be a predator to someone else? Like, was Usher forced to be a predator? Or did he just become a predator after being, you know, traumatized? It's such a sticky situation. It's hard to understand. And it's so sad. If you read the comments, all the people are like, oh, Justin wanted it, this and that, blah, 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 and making fun of people. Even some people like making fun of Aaron Carter. He's dead. I hope his ghost, his spirit, comes to you and you get instant karma for making fun of a dead person. Michael Jackson is dead. They tried to blame the child molesting on him. He was just trying to save the other kids because he had gone through that. You know, like, when these people want to talk, they end up dead. When there's too much competition, they end up dead. It's scary. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, thank you so much for hanging out until the end of this video. If there's any other videos you guys want to see, like, I'm open to ideas. What do you want me to do videos about? Should we go back to cooking? Should we go, you know, to cleaning? Should we mom stuff? I'm doing more videos now of me playing with the kids because people seem to like Lincoln playing outside. The only thing I didn't like about it is the kid does not like to wear clothes. And, well, you know, he wears clothes. But he doesn't like to wear shoes and socks and a shirt. He just likes to run around in his shorts because we live in Alabama where it's still 90 degrees. So before you come at me on my videos, and nobody really has, but before you do, just understand that we live in 90-degree weather and it's hot, okay? It's hot where we are. So he doesn't like to wear a shirt. Anybody else? Are your kids like this? Leave me a comment. I read all my comments. So, see you next time. Sending you much love. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends.